Hi, I'm Lindsey, and I'm talking with Medtech industry leaders on how they change lives for a better world.
The inventions and technologies are fascinating, and so are the people who work with them.
There was a period of time where I realized fundamentally my job was to go hang out with really smart people that are saving lives and then do work that would help them save more lives.
I got into the business to save lives, and it is incredibly motivating to work with people who are in that same business, saving or improving lives.
What better industry than where I get to wake up every day and just save people's lives?
These are extraordinary people doing extraordinary work, and this is The Leading Difference. Hello, and welcome to the Leading Difference podcast. I'm your host, Lindsey, and I'm excited to introduce you to my guest today, Marina Daineko. Marina, a certified biocompatibility subject matter expert with an MSc in analytical chemistry, shines as a dynamic figure at the intersection of medtech and chemistry. Her knack for seamlessly bridging biocompatibility, regulatory compliance, and materials science sets her apart. Marina's captivating presentations at conferences, including the prestigious Women in Tech Global Conference 2023, underscores her multifaceted expertise in the medtech industry. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Hello, Lindsey. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. I was wondering if we could start off by you just sharing a little bit about your background and yourself and how you got into the medtech industry.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Actually, it's a very interesting story because I have started medical device industry not from the very beginning, but since I was young, I have always had a keen interest in learning more about the properties and different forms of matters and understanding how these undergo changes. So all in all, I fell in love with chemistry while I was in high school and knew that I need to proceed with chemistry in my adult life. So anything that can be touched, tasted, smelled, seen, or felt is made of chemicals. And I was inspired by this fact. And yeah, so I decided to connect my life with it. And it's interesting because I started my career as a research assistant in the Research Institute for Physical Chemical Problems. And here I had a really scientific background because I published several articles, put my hands into patent work, and so on and so forth, and everything related to non-resist photocatalytic lithography and non-electronics, so far away from medtech industry. And yeah, but it was interesting for me, and it was sometime after that, it was time of self-discovery through challenges because I wanted to do something in my career that is challenging, interesting, and makes a difference in people's lives on a daily basis. And actually, around this time, I found out that my ancestor, Vladimir Dalalayev, was a researcher in medicine and published academic papers dedicated to rheumatism and the morphology of allergy. So I found it interesting and I decided that I might delve into this area, into this domain. So all in all, I started to look for opportunities and found out R&D position. And that's why I joined medtech industry as R&D, and my background in chemistry and material of science helped me a lot here. And I'm a curious person, so when I was working as R&D, I also was trying to understand, okay, what are the sources of different requirements? What they come from? What are all these regulations that some people are talking from time to time?
Yeah.
And as a result, that was really interesting for me. Okay, I need to understand the source. I need to understand the matter, what I'm doing, why I'm doing. So, and as a result, I started to look into regulatory compliance area and overall quality management system, just to understand how the things work and to understand medical devices from different areas, right? Because it can have very different requirements depending on what aspect you're looking from, right? So I was really fascinated, and thankfully I had the chance to join biocompatibility and biological relation team. as R&D, also understanding the requirements with chemical background in chemistry. So I started to look into biological evaluation because it's so interesting for me. Look here, it's a mixture of science, also medical device, and additionally some investigations, some topics that are not discovered or something like this. So it's really nice. And also, next step, I decided, okay, I'm pretty aware, like what are things with medical devices that contain hardware, for instance, but how to make this medical device live. Because it's really interesting and fascinating to see how the lives can be changed. So it's bring me to software in the medical devices. So software and firmware is something that could help to make medical devices live, so they can be used in some analysis or predictions and so on and so forth. And that's why I'm here in medical device industry, really enjoying what I'm doing and understanding medical device from different perspectives.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your background too. It's so fun for me to hear about how you go from so many different. Yeah, because you're so multi-talented and you're so interested in so many things. And I love hearing that. I love hearing about your background in chemistry, and then you went into R&D, and now you're doing software and firmware. Oh my goodness, you are a lifelong learner.
Yeah, I believe it's very important because we are living in VUCA world. It means that there are a lot of changes around us. And additionally, for me, it's really interesting. I'm really fascinated to see a medical device from different sides. Okay, we have compliance. Compliance means like this requirements, right? We have R&D and product quality and biological relations, and those requirements may be applied. And when touching one topic, it's very interesting to see what is beyond this topic. For instance, as I said, okay, R&D requirements, design input, design verification activities, and so on, according to, for instance, ISO 13485 or CFR part 820. But what about regulatory, right? What about hers? Moreover, it's also, one thing that I'm proud right now that this year I took a very bold choice to become a student one more time. And I selected programs that focused on the medical sterilization engineer. So I believe it helps me to understand medical device even deeper, because biocompatibility and sterilization are things that lay near each other. So just to deep my knowledge in the sterilization and disinfection areas, I picked this program. So I'm student again. Very nice feeling.
Oh, good. Yeah. I love how you said that. It's a nice feel.
Like back to school, yeah.
Yes. That is incredible, though. And it is so interesting to hear how you just keep developing your skills. And like you said, you're a curious person. So you're going to continue to explore different ways and help the industry move forward. So good for you.
It's no choices for industry.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So I know that you also are an advocate for women in medtech, and I would love if you would share a little bit more about that and your involvement. How did all that get started, and what are you optimistic about with that?
Oh, yeah, it's a great question. Thank you very much for asking it. So it has started actually recently when I was invited to speak at Women in Tech conference. So I was really excited here because in my experience, some time ago, long time ago, I don't remember even how many years it was, I tried to start a business as a woman. And unfortunately, I have got quite a lot of pushbacks with said words, like, for instance, okay, you need to sit down at home and growing up children and, I don't know, cooking. And for me, it was like a question, okay, I can do it surely, but I have like other perspective and other ambitions and willing motivation to grow like a professional, like an expert. So for me, it's very important to show example for other people, women, that okay, we can surely we can grow up children, surely we can take care of some other people and cooking and cleaning like this ma'am. It's very important to show an example that I can do it, so everyone can do it. Everyone has own voice, and this voice shall be heard. Very important. So it started quite innocent for me, just invitation to talk at the conference, but I was so proud of it. And I shared this news with my colleagues, with my family, friends, like with everyone, I believe, and trying to support this. Moreover, recently I has been nominated for Women in Tech nomination. So, and I'm so excited of it because my presentation, I was talking about Internet of Medical Things actually, and compliance and risk aspects with the IoT. So my talk as a speaker, and I was gratulated with this nomination. So I'm so proud to show again other people that okay, look, it has started really innocently, but where I am now, I'm nominated and I am growing awareness regarding women in tech and asking for collaboration here, other women to join this network because I could see a lot of opportunities with it, like to support each other, to help each other, to grow together, because when we are sharing our expertise, when we are giving advices, when we are providing areas for improvement, it is really also very important, actually, our points of growth here. So I believe it's very valuable network and really could see a lot of improvements while taking part in this Women in Tech Net.
That's incredible. And first of all, congratulations on that nomination.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's incredible. Yeah, I'm so excited to see where that leads. But in general,
Oh,
I just,
yeah.
yeah, and you're like, oh my goodness, yes, me too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but I love the fact that it started off with an ask of you to do this talk, and then that you just said, okay, and I'm diving into this too.
Yeah,
So,
it's exactly how it works with me.
okay, excellent. Yeah. And I know from being connected with you on LinkedIn that you are very passionate about helping to spread knowledge about the industry. Yeah. And so you do this Mondays, you do like a coffee chat or coffee talk. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So again, interesting story because some time ago, actually, I have started to be pretty active on my LinkedIn, like just around the year or so. And why I decided to be active and how it's actually started. It started because I felt like I'm so full of expertise, knowledge, advices that I can't just hold them with myself. So I need to somehow to share them. And I found LinkedIn platform very useful and comfortable for such knowledge sharing because here there is a community of different experts, and that's why we can share opinions, advices, comments, because it's also valuable to see from some things from our perspective, right? And on Mondays, I'm doing like Monday news. And I remember when I'm using actually my own picture, I took this picture when I had a coffee and croissant, like dreaming, okay, what would I like to read on Mondays? And for me, it was kind of a digest of important things. And I usually connect in these important, valuable things around biological evaluation because I could see quite a lot of information regarding compliance, quality management system, risk management, clinical evaluation, like really ocean of news and updates and knowledge sharing regarding clinical evaluation. But for some reasons, I saw that biological evaluation is kind of underestimated, meaning that, and it's not too easy to find some valuable information or clarify something or to make it transparent and traceable why we need to go like this direction or this direction and what are updates in the industry and so on and so forth. And I know that quite a lot of people are too shy to ask directly or they simply don't know whom to ask, right? Because if you are known as a subject matter expert in this domain, would ask you even if you are, right? So, and it's helped me to understand, like, okay, maybe I could put myself in this niche and provide some updates like I'm doing here on Mondays, like taking one topic and provide small, maybe not too basic things around this topic. Like, for instance, biological evolution, but inside of biological evolution, we have a lot of things to talk. And to be honest, I can talk about biocompatibility like all days and nights. It can be unstoppable.
Excellent.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, okay. So you have lots of things in the works and you're a student still. What is
Yeah.
coming up for you? What is next that you're particularly excited about, either personally or professionally or whatever you want to talk about?
Oh my God. There are a lot of things, to be honest.
Excellent.
First of all, maybe from professional side, I'm really excited to take part in the Medtech summit. So I'm flying to the United States, and I'm really excited because there would be a lot of professionals and subject matter experts within the summit, like from biological evolution as well as regulatory affairs. So I'm very interested to make like connection in real life, not only like online, looking at people's heads and that's it.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm
Yes.
really excited of it. Also, I will have a panel session about post-market surveillance, and it's very interesting actually format because it would be different experts here at this panel, like from regulatory, clinical, risk management, and I will represent biological evaluation aspect. So, and we would be talking about post-market surveillance for medical devices. It's also a hot topic, and I'm excited because in such format, that would be my first time in such format with other experts, but I find it really valuable because this cross-functional team usually like kind of brainstorming, negotiation, discussion. So I expect like a vivid discussion around this topic. And again, I believe that would be very interesting insights here during this panel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking to that, when you are involved in these panel discussions or conversations or things where like you said, you're going to be surrounded by experts and you have your area of expertise too and
Yeah.
whatnot, and you're sort of all collaborating.
Yep.
Is there ever a moment where, does it ever feel overwhelming when you're just, I don't know enough about this topic? I'm just curious because I know sometimes we have those moments as humans. We go into this situation that's not 100% our realm. And I'm just curious how you handle those moments of, how can I contribute to this conversation?
Yeah, that's a great question because I wouldn't be honest if I say that I don't have such moments. Surely I have, and as I'm quite active as a speaker on different conferences, so surely I have such moments in my life. And yeah, so how I deal, I'm trying be logical first of all and structured. Actually, I'm a super structured person. I have folder all the reminders and so on. Organized and structured, but yeah,
Yes.
so I'm trying to think in this way. Okay, here is the question: how can I decompose it for the parts that I can understand, right? And I can provide some feedback, insight, or advice, for instance, right? Because usually a person who is asking a question, this person usually has some ground or circumstance or conditions why this question is asked. So I'm trying to decompose this question if it's still unclear. So I'm asking to ask maybe in a different way. It gives me additional time to think actually as well, right? So, and in the end, I would say for 100% cases with this decomposition and for instance, asking to reword the question, I can answer it because it gives me time to think. The decomposition gives me the base. Okay, we are talking about XYZ or ABC, or what we are talking about, right? What area, from what perspective. So all the things help to answer. But usually, yeah, decomposition and additional time to think help me each time.
Yeah. And thank you for your honesty because I really love listening to other people's strategies, because I think we all have those moments sometimes, right?
Absolutely. And it's very nice because I also can understand, okay, what are my weaknesses? What are my areas for improvement? Maybe I need to dive deeper into this topic, but I consider myself brave enough to say, I don't know if I really don't know something, right? Not to make not proper conclusions, for instance, or advices and so on and so forth, because it's very important to say such things because we are talking about medical devices. Medical devices are used when people are in need some help. It might be even the question of life and death. So it's very important to say if I don't know, so I'm saying I don't. Please ask this expert, for instance, or I need additional time to investigate. So I need this additional time, right? And also what is very important for me as a woman and as immigrant, right? Not to be shy, but to talk, to speak up because I am an expert and I need to show my expertise to others because other people can, for instance, they just simply maybe not aware that I'm expert, right? So very important to speak up and to be brave here.
Yes, 100%. And I kept thinking about that when you've been telling us about your life and your trajectory and how curious you are. And I was going to say that bravery is such a strong theme. It really is, though, because it is hard sometimes to be willing to speak up and say, I don't know, or let me go back and research or whatever. And so I think that's really powerful what you said. And I appreciate your candor there. And I am also curious myself. So if let's say that you are in a sort of mentorship position, what kind of advice would you give somebody, maybe especially a woman or somebody who is coming from a different background who may not have the same access, basically? How would you advise that person to participate and to keep moving forward with their own career, if they're feeling a little uncertain or they don't fit in?
Yeah, no, I love this question. Thank you for asking it. So I believe we are living in such a world where hard skills shall be complemented with soft skills. And as far as I could see, listening is very important. Listening and communicating properly. And listening, I believe that listening to others is part of communication. So regarding listening, it's very important to listen like kind of correctly. What I mean under this, for instance, not multitasking when someone is listening to another person, right? Because sometimes we are doing something and listening not attentively, and we, for instance, can mix up topics or don't understand something or just don't miss some part of conversation. And that's why it's very important to listen attentively, really deep, really diving into the topic and understanding what is going to be like what we are talking about, what is the topic, what is the ask, maybe something is hidden between rows, so it's very important. Sometimes we are listening with a goal in mind. What it means we are talking to each other, right? But I have my goal into my mind, so it doesn't matter actually what you're talking about. So I have something and that's it. I don't care. So it doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't work actually. So especially for leadership, but not only for leadership, it's just for real life. It doesn't work. We need to listen and trying to understand what another person is trying to say here. And one more maybe thing that I noticed is judging. So when someone is saying something, so we are judging. We are like, okay, there is just black and white, and that's it. But fortunately, no, we have different colors. So like rainbow colors. There is no black and white. So we shall not judge. We need to listen attentively, accurately, and trying to get rid of maybe some negativity when talking to a person. So it's very important because collaborating with different people may be challenging, especially in cross-functional teams, because I could see more and more that we are working in remote world, right? So I'm from Poland, you're from the United States, someone is from United Kingdom, someone from Australia, and
Yeah.
it's really amazing, and I love it. But people are from different cultures, people have different, I don't know, mood, time zone, different things in their private life. So it's very important to switch off this as much as possible, this emotional thing, and don't judge, just take the information as it is. And actually it helps me also a lot when I'm doing internal audits. As it's written, I could see, and I could just ask for some evidence as it's written, no judging here. And maybe one more topic here I would like to raise, it's about preparing your response. So when, for instance, my colleague is talking to me and I just quote the first sentence, for instance, right? And I'm answering to this sentence, not the whole speech or the whole thing that this person is trying to say, but to this sentence. Please don't prepare your response and improve your listening skills. I believe that this listening skills, first of all, when we are collaborating with other colleagues from other, I don't know, departments, for instance, like product quality or clinical affairs, manufacturing, so it's very important, marketing, some others. So it's very important to listen and to listen to their messages, because there are a lot of valuable information. It shall be filtered accordingly and taken into account, taken for consideration. And when we have like good listening skills, we can proceed with improving our communication, because I believe that communication is just powerful tools that can resolve simply any issue, challenge, whatever, if we can communicate effectively. So it helps a lot in professional life, in not only professional. So it's very important to work on this. Coming back to your question, I believe that any person can enter medical device industry, because there are a lot of directions here. These directions depending on people background. So here we need like mechanical engineers to be able to prepare drawings and actually work on new product development or modifications of existing medical devices, for instance, right? Someone with chemistry, biology background needed for like specific things like biological evaluation, clinical evaluation, right? But even people without technical background, someone is like a communicator, is very nice, very valuable person in the project, because such a person can help with communication between different departments, because someone needs to orchestrate all this work for medical device. So don't be afraid, listen carefully and improve your communication skill. And I believe, it helps in any industry, including medical devices.
Yes, that's great advice. And thank you for sharing that. I think you're right that in many aspects. So one of them,
Thank you.
I just want to clarify, I agree with you. But one thing that stood out to me is you said that it is definitely possible for people to come into the medical device industry. And I think you're absolutely right. There are lots of avenues within the industry. So if your background is in engineering, there's plenty of places for you to go. But if your background is in marketing and sales, I mean, people have to know your device exists in order to purchase it. So all of the roles are useful. So I think you're absolutely right in finding the area where you fit in. But the industry is really friendly, is what I have. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because if I can add here, for instance, for marketing and sales, so I love these people because they help me a lot. Why? Because when I am doing, for instance, biological evaluation, I need, within my documentation, I need to explain other people from notified bodies who, for instance, can audit this documentation, how this medical device works. And what happened here? Look, I need these people from notified bodies or like from like auditors, right? They can have really different background. They can have background in clinical, or they may not have this background. They may just have, I don't know, absolutely different background, right? They are not familiar with this specific medical device. So, and within my biological relation, I need to explain how this medical device works. And it's known fact that a lot of people can consume the information with their eyes. So it's visual. So it means that the information shall be visualized, and visualization is the best tool to explain some things to people. That's why I love marketing, people from marketing and sales, because they can prepare these great pictures of medical device, how it works, for instance, on YouTube, like video or whatever, right? As well as, to make it understandable for everyone. Simple, not with all these tons of words, but usually it shall be described as well, right? But visualization as well. So that's why, I triggered so much when you mentioned marketing and sales, because, it's really important to explain complex things in pictures.
Yes, indeed. Yes. And I'm glad to have an advocate for that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Pivoting the conversation just a little bit for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you were to be offered a chance to teach a masterclass on any subject that you want to. You would be paid $1 million to do so. It can be about your industry, but it doesn't have to be. What would you choose to teach and why?
As I said, I can talk days and nights about biological relations, so maybe it would be the simplest answer, because it really works for me. I mean, like, I can talk about biocompatibility a lot, and I am more than happy to share some insight with people, especially taking into account this buzz and noise regarding biological relation recently. And I could see a lot of people that are coming in this aspect, this domain, I mean, biological relation in medical devices. So I wasn't happy even be paid probably for this.
There you go.
Yeah.
You could put the $1 million to your research or something fun. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. When I was younger, I had actually a dream to organize a kind of research center and to have some equipment, to have some databases and so on for scientists who can, for instance, like scientists, startups, and so on and so forth, who can actually try their ideas on this research center. So if you, for instance, I don't know, invented something, you can go to my research center and we can first of all test it and also provide like scientific background if required to help with patents and so on and so forth. So I believe that $1 million can be used for this goal.
Woo, I like it. Okay. Excellent. All right. And how do you wish to be remembered after you leave this world?
This is an important question, and I'm thinking from time to time exactly on it. So it's very personal for me, because also funny story, when I was a student at the university, I have been providing kind of mentorship for people who would like to study chemistry. So, and usually I was working with pupils from the schools, blaming the fire for chemistry. So showing that chemistry is not just something boring or in science, but also very interesting and can be kind of fun. So I had the case when one boy, he needed to improve his knowledge for chemistry just for his marks, because he intended to get in British college. And we were having the studies with him. I was explaining things and providing real life examples where and how chemistry can be utilized and improved. And in the end, this boy decided to utilize chemistry in his life. So he switched from math as well as physics to chemistry and connected his life with chemistry. And for me, it was like, oh my God, it seems like I changed someone's life. And it was so inspiring for me that I decided for myself that I would like to proceed with it, that I like how I can make this connection to show people the beauty of different things, like, for instance, chemistry to this boy. And yeah, I believe that I've greatly success in such things. So I would say that I would like to be remembered as a person who can connect people with beautiful and inspiring, changing lives this matter.
Ooh, that is a beautiful goal. I love it. That just gave me chills.
Yeah, no, I feel the same actually, because for me, this boy, it was like a changing moment. Yeah, it's very powerful. Even this memories.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that story. That's a fantastic story. And I love that because that just speaks to you and your willingness to help somebody understand something that doesn't come naturally or maybe easily
Yeah.
to them. And what a difference you made in that person's life. So yes, I think that's incredible and a beautiful life goal of yours.
Thank you, Lindsey. Oh yeah, to explain it like complex things into simple, understandable steps is my favorite entertainment, I would say.
Ah, okay. Excellent. I love it. All right. What is one thing that makes you smile every time you see or think about it?
Oh, I believe it's my dog. I have Pitbull, but she reminds me a cat mostly because, yeah, no, really, because for instance, when I have a door open to join other room, to go into other room, for instance, but when I close the door, she needs to come back immediately. And it makes me smile because it's like behavior of a cat. And also, yeah, she's sleeping and she is snoring from time to time. And when I have a meeting, for instance, with my colleagues, so I'm asked all the time, Marina, please don't sleep. Yeah. So yeah, it's funny and I adore her. I'm working with her. Actually, I love walking with her. We are walking like 10 kilometers or so. She's not happy with this distance, but she has just simply no choice with it. Yes. Yeah, no, I believe it's useful for her heart. So that's why, yeah.
Mutually beneficial for both of you.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Yeah. This has been so much fun. Thank you so very much for joining us today. I'm just so thrilled to have you, and you're so inspirational. So thank you for doing what you're doing and how you're continuing to learn and evolve with the industry, but evolve your own skills
Thank you.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
of course. And we're so honored to be making a donation on your behalf as a thank you for your time today to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, which is
Yeah.
dedicated to preventing animal cruelty in the United States. So thank you for choosing that organization to support. And we just wish you continued success as you work to change lives for a better world.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lindsey. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed our conversation, a lot of love and insight. So thank you very much for invitation. And yeah, I'm really happy to meet you.
You too. And thank you also so much to our listeners for tuning in. And if you're feeling as inspired as I am right now, I'd love it if you'd share this episode with a colleague or two. And we will catch you next time.
The Leading Difference is brought to you by Velentium. Velentium is a full-service CDMO with 100% in-house capability to design, develop, and manufacture medical devices from Class 2 wearables to Class 3 active implantable medical devices. Velentium specializes in active implantables, leads, programmers, and accessories across a wide range of indications, such as neuromodulation, deep brain stimulation, cardiac management, and diabetes management. Velentium's core competencies include electrical, firmware, and mechanical design, mobile apps, embedded cybersecurity, human factors and usability, automated test systems, systems engineering, and contract manufacturing. Velentium works with clients worldwide, from startups seeking funding to established Fortune 100 companies. Visit Velentium.com to explore your next step in medical device development.